Billy and Ian back at it again with a vlog, and today we are talking about PCs and stuff like that. So this week was supposed to be my vlog for my computer, and you're supposed to be seeing my computer right now, but it didn't come yet. I ordered everything and I'm kind of mad it didn't come. Shipping does suck so bad.
Yep. So what are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're talking about PCs and how I got into it and pretty much how he got into it. So you all know I'm pretty much a console god, and before I hated PC, like PC building and PCs in general, because I don't know why. There were so many reasons, but like, you know, those reasons were so stupid. Like having a controller, like with my brother's old PC, like I tried to plug in a controller but it wouldn't work, so I was like, fuck this shit. And then like with like games, I always thought console games were better for some reason, but like he pretty much showed me and it's been like better, and I just wanted to get a PC since like a month ago, and I kept talking about that in like Throwback Thursday videos and stuff like that. So yeah, eventually he pretty much got me into it. He's like, oh, you should learn this and you should get your own PC. So over like the April break, I learned all about computers and stuff, and I made a list and then I ordered it. So that's pretty much it. It's just crazy how I don't know, it's so weird because it feels like I'm going away from console games, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
But like, I want to stick with both, but it's so hard to like, I don't know.
Because you have like your PC now, you're like, oh, this is my master system, this can blow everything out of the water. Yeah. But I still want to get a PS4 game. Yeah,
it's like why would I go back when I have a computer right here, and then like with Steam and stuff like that, you can just buy a game online like that.
Especially now because we're going into the digital age.
Yeah, but like, I hate my old self for like thinking, oh, I hate PCs and all that stuff, but like it's so much better now.
Yeah, back to like the whole digital age. I went to Walmart and they had Star Wars Battlefront. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was about to pick it up and buy it, even though I have it on PS4, and it said no disc included.
Oh yeah.
But it still had a case.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the point of going to Walmart and buying it?
Yeah, exactly. It just has a code inside, like,
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
There's probably like still a little, like, the two knobs where like you click them in, the disc comes out. I bet that's still there. We should just buy it. So, I was always a console person myself, at least whenever I was younger. I always wanted like the newest system, but then someone said, like I was watching someone on YouTube, I forget who it was, this was like 5 years ago, and the graphics for this one game they were playing just looked amazing, and they said, oh, I'm playing this on PC, the console version looks like trash. And I'm like, wow, like this is the PC version, it looks great. So I really wanted to get a computer. So I looked into some things, and I didn't know anything about building at all. So I looked at Alienware, which...
yeah, overpriced shit.
Yeah, overpriced shit. Yeah, at first I wanted like an Alienware Aurora R4, and those things are like $1,500 or something like that, and they don't perform. Like, you could build that PC for like way cheaper. Yeah, and it would have like, you could play like everything in like the next 5 years. Yeah, you're basically paying for like a $600 case. Yeah. So I really wanted like an Alienware, and then I looked at cheaper Alienwares. I think it was like the X51 or something like that. I don't know. And there was one for like $700, but it had a Core i3, and I didn't know what the hell that meant. I was like, okay, I want this. So my dad pretty much found that computer on YouTube and like found benchmark videos, and BioShock Infinite on like medium settings got like 50 something frames per second. Yeah. And my PC now can play that on ultra. Yeah. And not break a sweat. So I kind of got out of that, and then that's when I started to get into actual hardware. So I learned some things. I built like a cheap budget build. It was like $600, and then I added something to it, made it $700, and then that this was the final thing at the moment. And then the next day I'm like, well, see if we can put this in there, and then
it
kept going and going and going. The original build was an AMD FX 6300 6300 and a GTX 750 Ti, because the 900 series was not even a thing back at this time, and 8 gigs of RAM. And then the final build, after like messing with it for a few months, ended up being a fucking i7 4790K and 2 GTX 760s in SLI, and then I changed it later to a 780 or like a 780 Ti, and then I was gonna get that for Christmas, which hell no I didn't. And then for my birthday, I was gonna ask for another 780 Ti to run an SLI, and
oh my god,
that was horrible. The end result without the second 780 Ti was like $1,700.
That's insane.
And yeah, but I kind of got out of it for a while, and then there was times when I'm like, I really wish I had a PC, and just never did it. Just recently, I cashed in some like spare change and had some money laying around. I'm like, you know what? I think now I'm gonna build a PC, because someone gave me a just some PC they had laying around. It had an i7 2600, and then I just took that out, got a new motherboard, a GTX 960, more RAM, and everything, just new stuff, and that's my current gaming PC.
It's just crazy because you got me into console gaming back then. Remember that? Like, I came over that one day, and then, you know, like, consoles. And
collecting.
Like collecting. Like,
yeah,
consoles.
He came over and I was watching Angry Video Game
Yeah,
Nerd.
and then, like, he got me into that, and then now he got me into PC gaming. Like, what's next? It's just...
Space and time travel.
Wow.
You come up to my room, I built a time machine.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for this because now on Alpha Clock, I don't have to use my school laptop for like editing videos and stuff. I can have like an editing program, and I can play games on his computer, and I can just like me and him and this other kid is gonna like live stream all the time. We're gonna make videos all the time, and that's what I was planning to do. And it's, you know, it's working out like so far. I just had to put my computer together and see how the videos are gonna go. So I can't wait to make videos again, because like I haven't made a video in so long.
And now we're going to be doing like this podcast too.
Yeah. Yeah, me and him are going to start like podcasts. It's probably going to be weekly. It might be on YouTube, I'm not sure. But...
it might be on Twitch first, and then download it, maybe like cut it up into multiple things, or one big thing, and then put that on YouTube. We don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to do it.
We're going to talk about like anything randomly. It's just so fun. It's just so exciting because like I just made the Twitch for Alpha Clock, and we never had a Twitch before, so like we're starting to move along with like new stuff and like new ideas.
Yeah. So now we're going to be talking about just different tips and different things to look out for building PCs. There's going to be some pretty stupid stories, especially with my computer, that that we should probably share just in case anyone else is doing this.
Yeah, and hold on, just in a minute. Like, it's funny because like when I was starting out, I was like, okay, I got this, so I went to PC Pod Picker and I tried to pick out like stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know like anything at all.
Yeah, I remember this one time, just because I was like, alright, put together a build, and or no, it wasn't on PC Part Picker, it was because there's a website called Game Debate. If you type in like Game Debate Grand Theft Auto 5, it has a thing where like you can select like your CPU and your GPU, RAM, and then it gives you like an estimated kind of what settings it would probably run on, and it works pretty good. So I put it on for Grand Theft Auto 5, and I had him put together a thing, and he put like a Intel Atom. Yeah. And I don't even know what graphics card he did. Yeah. Probably something horrible. But yeah, we've come a long way in terms of
like learning everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the other day, you know Adam.
Yeah.
Like he watches like all these videos.
Yeah, he just messaged me on Facebook and said, "How good is your graphics
card?" Oh yeah, he sent me a screenshot of that.
Yeah, and I said Grand Theft Auto 5 on high.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, no, he messaged me after that, and he's like, but he said to get the i9 380, and I'm like, okay, whatever you want.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's yours, and it's a little better, kind of better than the 960. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
That's its main
And then, yeah, like, I told him, like, he wanted to buy a computer off, like, I don't know.
Just some
site.
some
site, and it was like $500 with, like, no graphics card or anything.
And an i3.
Yeah.
But it looked like a gaming computer.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said to him, like, you can get that, I'm like, whatever. But then, I thought he wouldn't want to learn, but then I was like, dude, let me just teach you. And I went up to his house one day, and then he's like, I tried to, like, make a build for him, and then he like watched videos and stuff, and he's trying to learn more. So
yeah, once you start out with like little to no knowledge, you're just like, I just want to buy a PC, go from there, and not think about it. Then the second you're like, well, I heard I can build something better for the same price.
Yeah, and it just goes.
You start learning and learning. It becomes like it's so addicting.
Yeah, it's
to
just
learn, and that's what's great is you're learning.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So yeah, there was with his PC.
Yeah, just like if you guys really want to learn, just be prepared to get like just hit with information.
Yeah.
Like from videos.
Just absorb it like a sponge.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, but like once you learn, it gets easier. Like me, like I said to you, I'm like, ew, I don't want to learn that because you have to match this motherboard with this CPU. You have to do this with this.
But it's not that hard.
Yeah, see, like you eventually learn it. You think it's the hardest thing ever because all these things have to match. But it just happens.
Whenever I was first getting in the PC building, I thought getting a motherboard would mean you actually had to get like every single capacitor, every single like VRM thing, every single like PCI expansion. Like I thought you had to put that shit together, but it turned out you search it, matches a socket, has right fan headers, right sides. Like it's so much easier. It seems so intimidating, but it's not.
Yeah. And then like building it is like the it's the least concern you have.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
actually.
it's like easy, but like the hardest thing is picking parts and like, you know, learning everything. So like.
But even then, though, it's still not that hard.
it's still fun.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, like my computers. I don't know if I'm gonna make like a time-lapse video of me building my computer or whatever, but I'm gonna have like a video in like probably a couple days of me having the finished computer, and it's like, oh, what struggles I went through with like making or building it or whatever. So I can't wait for that video.
Yeah, so as we were saying, we're gonna have some stupid stories.
Yeah.
So my computer now, I built it in an interesting way. Instead of like getting like the top of the line like motherboard and case and RAM and everything, I kind of did it cheaply, but it works. So for my motherboard, I could have gotten some insane like $200 board, but keep in mind the i7 2600. That's an old thing. Yeah, it's not old, but it's just finding a motherboard for it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
There is a motherboard on Amazon that's like insanely expensive. It's like $500, but it's like really good.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like Z motherboards where
you can like overclock and all that.
Yeah, overclock a non-K CPU
into
extreme standards. I'm not gonna spend $500 on a motherboard. So I got a Biostar MG V3 H61 or something like that. And it was a pain in the ass to work with because there's no like heat sink on the VRMs, so I have to life hack that, put a fan there so they don't overheat, so my CPU doesn't thermal throttle. So I got that, and then the power supply I had one laying around, and that's a red flag right there. So I used it on an old build that, well, it wasn't even a build, it was just a Dell computer I had. I had like a Core 2 Duo and a Radeon 5550 HD. It wasn't meant for gaming, let alone like video editing or anything like that, even though video editing is more demanding than gaming.
Yeah.
So I took that power supply out because I wasn't using the computer anymore, and I had that laying around for about 2 years. I shouldn't even have left that thing near my computer, but I did, and it didn't work. Well, kinda. There was a lot of issues with it, and whenever I'd play a game, it would every like 2 seconds freeze for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. And
whenever it was working, like music wouldn't play or like sound would stutter. And then after like 10 minutes it would either just turn off or blue screen. I tried to run a Unigine Heaven the benchmarking synthetic thing, and it would if I had it on like ultra or high or even medium, it would run for a split second and my computer would just shut down. And other times it would blue screen. It would have like the wonderful Windows 10 frowny face blue screen. So I ended up getting an EVGA 600B power supply. Worked perfect.
Yeah.
So never cheap out on a power supply. Don't even cheap out on, well, I don't want to say anything.
You could cheap out on some stuff. But
yeah, like you don't need to get the most expensive motherboard.
Yeah.
If it has the right socket and has whatever requirements you need, like fan headers or
yeah, the
like,
USB stuff.
Yeah, like if you don't care about USB 3.0 like I didn't, just you can cheap out on that. Like that's what I did with my motherboard. My motherboard was about $40-something.
Yeah.
RAM speed does not matter unless you have like an APU. If you have a good CPU and graphics card, you do not need to worry about RAM speed.
You just need to make sure it's compatible with your motherboard.
Exactly, because you were about to get an Intel Skylake and then got DDR3.
Yeah, DDR3. Yeah, see, and then you needed DDR4, but like that's like CPU
for it
stuff.
to work.
Yeah, see,
perfect, I guess.
See, that's like the only, I never even like heard of that before, but like somebody saved me, and I was like, yes. So I was like, thank God about that.
Yeah, that's what's good about PC Part Picker is if you're putting together a build and something's not right, it'll tell you.
Yeah. So,
like you said, whenever you're putting together DDR3 RAM on a DDR4 motherboard, it said, yo, this won't work.
Yeah.
So it's good to always look out, just quadruple check your work.
Yeah, like what I did, literally every single part I checked to make sure, like I read like a bunch of reviews about it, I just did everything about it and I'm like, okay, I'm good with this, and I got it. Dude, and then, no, like before, when you were trying to pick a new motherboard, you wanted to get a new CPU. So I didn't know anything about computers back then, but I wish I did, because you can go on PC Part Picker, you can pick his CPU, and then see people's motherboards with it.
Yeah,
like
it gives you like every motherboard you can get.
Yeah, like in their like most of them were expensive, but I did find a couple that you couldn't find before.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I told you that back then. And thank God you didn't buy a whole CPU, a new CPU, and a whole new.
Yeah, because I was originally gonna get an AMD FX 6300, like my first build.
Yeah.
And then I went back and forth on like the 6300 and the 8350. I knew I had an i7, but I couldn't find a motherboard for it. And the motherboard I had in the current PC, it was one of those, in that little pause, like, add like a cut here, because I just train of thought lost. So, the motherboard I had, it was an HP computer, the one that that person gave me. The motherboard was built for that case, so I could not use it in any other case. Convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, that's...
It didn't even have like a 4 or 8-pin CPU thing. It was just made to work.
With that,
yeah,
all that stuff.
It was horrible. What I wanted to do the entire time, because I had 12 gigs of RAM on there, but it was all like, it was all different stuff. Yeah, it was all weird, and I wanted to get a new power supply in it, and I couldn't find one, because the original power supply was 240 watts. It could not be expanded, there was nothing else you could do. So I was like, oh well, I can't use this i7, because I couldn't find a motherboard for it. Yeah. All the motherboards I looked at were insanely expensive. Except back then though, there was this one that was pretty awesome. And it was like $50, and it was like by ASUS. Yeah. And then when I went to look for it again, it was like $500. And then I looked again, and it just wasn't even there in general.
Yeah. So
there's things like that can just be so annoying. But eventually I did find my motherboard.
Yeah, especially when things get sold out. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to get this other motherboard, but it got sold out and it wasn't coming back, and I'm like, I gotta find a new one. But I found a new one that was cheaper, and it had just like, you know, like, I knew more about it, so it worked out from there.
Yeah, I was going to get this Gigabyte motherboard, and I think it had like 4 DIMM slots for the RAM, and it was altogether just an awesome motherboard. And then on it was only on Amazon. It said like only 10 left. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, mom, is there money in the bank? and then she was like, oh, just give me the money you have now. I'll put it in. It'll be easier. I'm like, okay, cool. And then whenever she came back, it was like 1 left. I'm like, shit, I gotta sign in. And it was sold out.
It was gone.
Yeah, it was
that's salty.
It was gone, just like my soul that very day.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. So if you wanna play with me and Ian and then eventually Adam, just message me on YouTube, or I guess you could say. And then if you want
us on Steam.
Yeah, definitely. And if you wanna build a computer, just look up videos on it. Good luck with that, and make sure all your parts are compatible before you buy it. Billy here.
And Charlie. And if you like that video as much as we think you did,
Comment, like, subscribe.
and if you want to watch more, go and click over here.
See you again soon.